It's Nigel here once again. Today, I've got another new review for you. So, this one is going to be talking about Spider-Man Far From Home. Now, right off the bat, you may hear a little bit of background noise. It's just my fan going. It's, of course, pretty warm. It's pretty much summertime here in Buffalo. But, we're here to talk about Spider-Man Far From Home. We are capping off the Infinity Saga, not with Endgame, but with Far From Home. Now, of course, as always, not professional reviewer, or just a man who enjoys a good time. And even though I personally feel like Avengers Endgame should have been the end of the Infinity Saga, I still enjoyed this movie. I still really like this movie. Do I like it more than Homecoming? It's still up in the air, honestly. It's still a bit hard to tell, I guess, between this and Homecoming. But I did really enjoy this movie. There was a lot of good stuff going on in the movie, and it definitely felt like the beginning of a new chapter in the MCU, which is why I think it should have gone in the Multiverse Saga. And to be honest, this point I'm about to make, I'm going to immediately contradict. But I think, honestly, after Endgame released, the MCU should have taken it like a year off. No movies, no TV shows, none of that. Just take a year off. Just let everyone rest after what happened, the events of Endgame. Just rest. Just take a breather. Because Endgame, of course, big climactic finale movie. Just let everyone rest, and then the next year come out with the first movie of the Multiverse Saga, this one, Far From Home. Now, I say I'm going to contradict that because, knowing what we know now, maybe it's best that they got at least one more movie out before the pandemic and everything. But so maybe that is for the best. I guess take the good with the bad, but still, I feel like there should have been at least some sort of rest period after Endgame. And nope, later on in the year, they dropped Far From Home. But we're going to get into it. We're going to get into our pros and cons, things like that. And so, right off the bat, what I liked about the movie, a lot of the characters returning. They didn't switch out actors or anything. And Tom Holland, of course, still does a pretty good job as Peter Parker / Spider-Man. And we start to see the maturity. We saw him being more mature in No Way Home, but we start to see it start to build up here in Far From Home. And honestly, it kind of ties some stuff in No Way Home. It kind of makes those things make sense. Why MJ and Spider-Man were a couple. Why Aunt May and Happy Hogan were a couple as well. But this one kind of answers some of those questions, which is nice. But yeah, so we see that. Of course, we got the Spider-Man suits. We got the one from Homecoming, the Stark Tech one. We got a new one that's created. And we got the Spider-Monkey / Knight suit with the stealth suit, as Marvel Contest of Champions calls it, the stealth suit, which is pretty good. It was advertised to us in the commercials, which is nice. Nick Fury shows up. Mysterio, the main villain. They did a really solid job, in my opinion. Definitely true to how Mysterio is. Even from the design, it definitely is a Mysterio design. I didn't know if they were going to make the fishbowl helmet work, but by God, they did it. They made that thing look cool, and Mysterio looks absolutely awesome in his costume and everything. And of course, they reveal he's a con man. He's using special effects and things like that, which makes sense in the comics. Mysterio is a failed special effects artist, and he uses projectors and things like that to create illusions and things like that that Spider-Man usually falls for. So I'm glad to see it carry over here. And fun fact, Mysterio was actually supposed to be one of the villains, one of the Sinister Six villains in the Spider-Man game for PS4, but that spot went to Scorpion, and you can kind of tell that they were gonna go for that because one of Scorpion's sections, when he like poisons Spider-Man, when he hits him with the tail and everything, there's like illusions and things like that. You could tell, okay, that was supposed to be Mysterio's part, but went to Scorpion, or perhaps it may have went to one of the other villains, who knows, but yeah, he looks really sick in this movie. I wonder when Scorpion's showing up in the MCU, and I wonder who will play him. Let me know who you want to see play Scorpion in the MCU in the comments below. But yes, they did a really solid job and everything. Spider-Man admits that he wants different things to be pulled in different directions, but he's starting to realize that responsibility of a hero, the great power, great responsibility thing, even before Aunt May said it. So we start to see, like I said, that maturity for Spider-Man coming up in this movie and everything, which is really good to look at. And the fact that it's out of the country, so he's far from home and everything, and taking pretty much a tour of Europe. And another fun fact, No Way Home is the only Spider-Man movie so far in the MCU to take place completely 100% in New York, even though it's No Way Home, so he shouldn't be home, but that one's totally in New York. For the other movies, he goes different places, and in this movie, he goes to Europe and everything, but so he's still there. He's still there in No Way Home. He's still in New York the entire time, but so really solid movie. Back to this movie, I should say. Really solid movie, and the fact that Mysterio lied, like I said, he con man everything, managed to con Nick Fury, who reveals actually not Nick Fury, but Talos, the Skrull from Captain Marvel. So the Skrulls are going to be making their way in, and they're definitely going to be a big part of the Secret Invasion TV show. I can't wait to see that, and hopefully that comes before Fantastic Four, so we can have a Super Skrull involved in some way in the Fantastic Four movie, because they're a pretty prominent Fantastic Four villain. But so I really like that. Add a lot of good stuff in the movie. As far as what I didn't like, some of the stuff may be a little bit nitpicky, some of it may be just my opinion, but there were a couple things that I thought were kind of to be honest. For starters, I feel like, so here's how the order of events happens in the movie. So, we learn Mysterio's ruse. We learn that he's like faking and everything. He steals the glasses. It's with the Edith tech that he developed for Stark, and he steals that and reveals his plan. And then Spider-Man and MJ, or Michelle, whichever one you prefer to call her, then they discover the hologram showing the villain and everything. Maybe this is just me, but I feel like these two scenes, the Mysterio telling the plan and everything, and then Peter and MJ learning of like the hologram and everything, I think these two scenes should have been swapped. So we see the hologram of the monster and everything, the elementals. Mysterio fighting the elementals. We see the hologram, and then we get into Mysterio's plan and everything. I feel like the fact that we already know Mysterio's plan, we already reveal his plan, and then we get the revelation of like the hologram and everything. I feel like the order they did it there kind of takes the oomph out of that reveal, because it's something we already kind of know. Oh, and to be honest, we already know. If you're a fan of Mysterio from the Spider-Man comics, you already know he's like a fraud and everything, but I feel like for the casual viewers thinking, oh, Mysterio's hero, I think if they did like the hologram reveal, where they reveals hologram, then Mysterio's plan, I think it probably would have worked better that way. Where the audience, they see the hologram, as they're watching the movie, they see the hologram, and they're like, what the hologram? What? And then we get to Mysterio, so I'm like, oh, okay, he's conning them. But we get Mysterio's reveal and everything that he's conning them. But then when we see the hologram, that's what we already know. We already know that the holograms are in place. So I feel like those two scenes should have been swapped. That way, you have the audience that first react to the hologram, and then Mysterio's plan. But in the reverse order, obviously the audience is still going to react to Mysterio's plan. Those who didn't really know who Mysterio was, not familiar with, and they're still going to react to Mysterio's plan. But then the hologram, they're like, oh, okay, yeah, so that's how he's doing it. So it's kind of a dull. It's kind of a bit of a dull response to it. But I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Maybe that's just me talking. Maybe that's just my personal opinion. But I would like to see those two scenes swapped. And the other thing is that the Tony Stark imagery, they lay it on thick in this movie. Like, Tony Stark is just about everywhere, and this villain is another Stark villain, another Stark created indirectly villain. He developed the tech for Stark, and it was the same glasses that Tony Stark used at the beginning of Civil War when he was interacting with his parents and everything, showing the hologram tech and everything. And I did like that they showed the different people that Mysterio was working with. Mysterio pointing back. I do like how they showed different people Mysterio's working with having these ties to like Tony Stark and everything. But the fact that it's another Stark villain and there's Stark everywhere, and now it makes sense. You know, we're still grieving Tony Stark's loss. Of course, Endgame, same year and everything. And we're still feeling the effects of it, and Iron Man, of course, big deal in the MCU, but it really, and this is kind of a problem I've had all along with, like, Tom Holland's Spider-Man, and thankfully they're rectifying it a little bit. They started to rectify it in No Way Home, is that too much of the Tony Stark is relying too much on, like, the Tony Stark, and that it doesn't really feel too much like he's his own person. If that makes any sense. And again, it could just be more of me, like, complaining, like, doing baseless complaining, like Nigel, you might be complaining a little too much about this, but the imagery is on pretty thick for this movie, but maybe that's just me. Again, maybe it's just me complaining, maybe it's just nerd raging, but overall, I still really enjoy the movie. That stuff's not enough to bother me, just some stuff I would have liked to see a little bit, and to their credit, they do try to establish Spider-Man more on his own and everything. Same with No Way Home. But, yeah, so there's that, and I don't think Tony Stark is mentioned that much. Maybe like once or twice in No Way Home, but that makes sense as Spider-Man's starting to become his own man and everything. But yeah, so overall, I still really enjoyed the movie. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed my review. Let me know in the comments below your thoughts on my review of the movie itself, anything like that. My MCU retrospective is going to be coming in a few days, and I actually, I'll keep the Sunday placeholder in mind, but there is a chance I may want to do it Saturday. Be able to do it Saturday would be pretty cool, but if not, then you guys will at least have it on Sunday. Saturday if I can, Sunday if I must. But yeah, so we're going to do the MCU Infinity Saga retrospective. So how this is going to work is I'm going to talk about my favorite and least favorite movies from there, pretty much my favorite and least favorite aspects of the Infinity Saga, favorite characters, least favorite characters, favorite movies, least favorite movies, strong points, weak points for the Infinity Saga, and then I'm going to talk about where do I think the MCU is going to be headed from there as we move into this new saga, the Multiverse Saga. But yeah, so that is going to do it for this video. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you guys later. Peace.